Everybody is still waiting to see what is going to happen with this Malik Monk reported sign and trade to the Detroit Pistons. Is it still on the table? What's taking it so long for it to go through? Let's get into it right here and talk about it on Top Title Detroit. Let's go.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What's good? Welcome to Top Title Detroit. I am Eric Vincent, your host and Detroit Pistons beat reporter for ClutchPoints.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Before we get going on the news, please help us grow the channel by liking the video and subscribing to the channel as well. We are currently 6 subscribers away from 400, and I would really love to hit that milestone with your support. So please tell a friend to lock in with us here at Top Title Detroit. I would really appreciate the support. Let's get into this news, man, because this has been a big roller coaster back and forth about the Dennis Schroeder, Malik Monk sign and trade. This whole fiasco has just been going back and forth really for about a week and some change, it feels like, really since free agency has started, dating back to last week. And we really haven't gotten much progress up to this point. We just saw a tweet. Shout out to my man Brett Siegel from Clutch Points. He was an insider as well, where he actually reported that the Kings were able to move forward without executing the sign and trade to bring Malik Monk to Detroit. But he deleted the tweet right after that. So right back to where we started from, unfortunately, where it's really not a whole lot of clarity going on right now. To kind of tie things back to the beginning, the report is that the Kings are looking to acquire Dennis Schroeder in a sign and trade, in this whole package, where the Pistons could potentially receive Malik Monk, a $14.3 million trade exception. And I believe Sacramento is also trying to get a hold of Jonathan Kuminga in these discussions as well. Golden State has, I guess, participated in these discussions, but apparently they are asking for Keegan Murray back in return, which I think is making Sacramento push back a little bit and say no thank you. It feels like a lot of the chips are in Sacramento's hands right now because they're getting the player that they want. They said, reported reports, that they are content with going forward with their roster as it is, which includes keeping Malik Monk. And that kind of suits them in their favor, where teams like Golden State and teams like the Pistons, they're trying to pry away from what they have in Sacramento, and they're willing to sit pat with their roster as it is, especially considering what happened with the Jonas Valanciunas trade that was supposed to happen and apparently did not happen. That signing didn't go through. It looks like he's heading overseas, and that changed a lot in terms of how this landscape is going thus far. Now, the Pistons, I think, still do have an opportunity to get that $14.3 million trade exception. I think they have to either send over a second-round draft pick or maybe a couple in order to lure that away in exchange from Sacramento. But based on what we're seeing in terms of the Malik Monk conversation, that's kind of at a standstill right now. We haven't seen any progress that, unfortunately, it doesn't look like anything is moving in a direction to indicate that it could happen right now. From what we do know, it was a lot of people said that the deadline was supposed to be for July 6th for when this deal was supposed to be done. That's not true. The deals are allowed to start on July 6th. This can linger probably for the next few days, especially considering the Jonathan Kuminga piece as well, which I think, according to Evan Cedar, he said on Twitter that Jonathan Kuminga is going to be visiting with teams about signing with them during Summer League, which starts in a few days. So this could be going on for the next several days, kind of just depending on what the direction of this goes in. But again, it looks like a lot of the pieces are in favor of Sacramento right now. Again, as the Pistons and the Warriors are trying to lure away resources from their team at this moment. And that just isn't happening at this current set. The Pistons hopefully can have a backup plan, or hopefully do have a backup plan. There have been reports about them being one of the few teams interested in John Collins, the stretch four from the Utah Jazz. Really has been in rumors with the Detroit Pistons dating back to his days in Atlanta. That will be a bit of a, I don't want to say complicated, but it can get a little dicey in terms of the Pistons and that apron transaction as well, because at this point, signing him in that 1-year deal that he's on could put them close to that first apron tax for the Detroit Pistons. And I think they want to try to operate as a team under the cap or under that tax. But at this point, we're not really sure where they can go. again, these are all kind of the domino effects, unfortunately, of that Malik Beasley issue that kind of came out the way that it did. Again, they had a plan seemingly to kind of start from signing Malik Beasley and then unrolling things from there. And it really seems like Trajan Langdon is rolling on plan B at this moment, which seems to be trying to get Malik Monk or potentially going after John Collins as well. Both are suitable players. I like them as well, especially considering what the Pistons roster is, where they need another stretch four and they kind of need some backcourt depth as well, where they don't really have much behind Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham that they're certain about long term. I like Marcus Sasser, but it's not certain of what he's going to be used at in terms of his future progression with the Detroit Pistons. So there's a lot of questions still looming in that regard as well. Again, based on what we're seeing right now, it all seems to me that the Pistons are operating on a plan B kind of time basis at this moment. Unfortunately, it is not a whole lot of traction and progression at this moment. Hopefully, by the time this video comes out, it won't blow up and look crazy at this moment. But from what we're seeing, it's not a whole lot of progression, unfortunately. I wish I had more news for you guys. I wish I had more that we could report. Doing my due diligence, I've been talking to a lot of resources. I've been talking to a lot of insiders. I've been talking to a lot of people that are close to the situation. And unfortunately, it just seems that things are at a standstill at this moment. I will be having some write-ups coming up on clutchpoints.com. Please make sure you tap in on there and find out a little bit more information to see if there's any other progression in terms of what this deal could look like. Again, kind of plan B mode right now, but we'll see what happens. Trying to keep this video short. Again, it's not a whole lot going on, unfortunately, at this time. So hopefully when there is some news, we'll have a little bit more to discuss right now with the Pistons. But talk to me in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Do you still have hopes that this Malik Monk acquisition will happen for the Detroit Pistons? How would you feel about them potentially getting John Collins as well? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Talk to me in there for sure. And again, please help us grow the channel as well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, help us lock in and grow our audience as much as we possibly can. You can also lock in with me on social media as well at I am Eric Vincent, where I'm tweeting and posting as many updates as I possibly can whenever I get any updates and news available for you guys. I'll be having it on there. I'll be having it on the channel. I'll try to keep you informed as best as I can throughout this entire transaction process. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you for being here, and I'll see you again soon right here on Top Title Detroit. Peace.